counter index, wherein onto the late game potential, there is where it will spike the most here for TLPH. So many crowd controls indeed here. But for Aurora, considering that they've got the Lancelot onto the Demon Kite, this will be a battle for our king onto the jungle. But moving forward, let's see if who will get the first blood, first game here for our first match of our upper bracket, third day of our playoffs. Let's get it over and start with our game. Casters, it's your time.
The race to Jakarta begins here. The upper bracket finals, first to the grand finals, first to M7. Game 1, Aurora, Team Liquid Philippines.
You could feel the momentum seep through the way both of these
Mobile
teams decided
Legends.
to go in with their drafts. Very comfortable picks so far that we're seeing on both sides, and I cannot wait to see the XP Lane showdown.
Brigida and Leo at your service for this long haul slobber knocker, expecting no less than 5. Aurora last night was sweated by a TNC. I think that whole fighter side lane really gave them a run for their money. Now look at this, it's Oheb who's rocking a chow against Dominkite, who is proven. Our panel mentioned it. Athena and Midnight, they said, hey, Dominkite, he's not so good on them fighters yet.
Yep. And I feel like Aurora also started to realize a few things, especially after yesterday, because it's not like teams don't get to adjust completely after observing that Aurora does stick with this plan, but Carl, barely dodging the Star Shutter.
Revitalize already used by Daddy JP. There's no way he's gonna let one of his sons die. Not like that. Edward!
Not Carl. It can't be Carl. Sanford here against 2 though. He gets to walk under the turret and Unbreakable from JP as well. But that's all the help he's needing for now.
All right, 2 close calls for Liquid. Aurora, they get a small lead off of that. They get to push the cavalry back out from their side of the jungle. Let's go back to that gold lane matchup. Again, a Granger versus a Cho. I think this will really make more of a difference in actual team fighting.
I agree. And when the more macro scale rotations come into play, because we saw it even from Benny yesterday. There was a time that the Cho got to complete a solo kill against a Ruby who was just trying to rotate and regroup with his teammates. So it's not impossible for this Cho to do the same against a Granger.
You gotta watch out. Oh my god, the flicker from Oheb! Baby Cake's doing work, but Dominkite refuses to fall!
He gets to keep himself safe. That turret, the advantage that he gets, the additional sustain and defense, and that's a free turtle that Aurora takes.
You know what? I think Aurora knew that something was afoot, that there was shenanigans around the lower half of the map, because Carl and Oheb, they don't usually do this. They don't usually telegraph where they are. So RORA, again, kudos to their coaching staff. Kudos to Master the Basics, to Dexstar, and to Khaled. They were like, Dominkite, you watch out for yourself. You protect yourself.
Yeah, and wasn't this one of the things mentioned in the Howl? That you gotta take away the first turtle from Team Liquid Philippines. Not that Team Liquid wanted to get it for themselves during that instance, but it feels like they didn't even allow for Team Liquid to consider even positioning themselves or contesting that objective at all. It was just that quick of a decision from Aurora.
So Aurora is playing off of former knowledge. This is just, again, knowing Liquid inside and out from the playoffs, from the regular season, and this is going to be key to the Northern Lights getting a good start. Let's check out the items real quick. Not much of a difference between these two teams. Again, a paltry lead for either side.
I guess it's the Encourage that's the most
interesting. Again, Light on that high loss with an Encourage and of course an Elegant Gem. He's playing very low to the ground.
Yeah, this has been Light's choice for the Roam Blessing since yesterday. And I feel like it suits Aurora so much. Hold on, he's finding Sanford here. I know I did mention wanting to see the XP Lane showdown, but Aurora, even though they don't get to take the kills, they're doing a great job at somehow caging the Apex Predator for now.
Yep, by caging Sanford, you avoid him from making game-changing plays early on, delaying that rotation, delaying him from rotating out and affecting the rest of the map. So Edward playing man-to-man defense, or should we say man-to-beast defense, because the Predator is currently just can't do much. Now we see them rotating down to the lower quarter of the map. Second turtle spawned. Liquid has a bigger presence here. Carl Easy with an amazing push and a pull. Sanford checking at that pixel brush. Oh my god, 3-man echoes!
Oh, that's a 4-man actually. Yue also caught by the final slash, and that's gonna be first blood for Team Liquid Philippines. Aurora still deciding to join in. The glorious pathway already laid down. Demon Kite can't fight anymore though. He's very low, and Edward 2 will fall next. Light trying to run away, but then Team Liquid, they're able to take 3 and they actually want more. But will Light allow them to? Sanford picks a double.
It's not up to Light. It's about that Apex Predator getting unleashed. He joined the fight, went straight for the important targets. And when you say gold lane fighter and you look at a Cho, I think that's a misnomer. This is a gold lane assassin. You see the precision that OHEB put on display. Totally ruining RORA's backline.
You gotta look for him if you're Yue. You want him to be part of that Astral Echo, but even then, you couldn't stop the surprise of a flicker way of the Dragon play. You can't entirely avoid that, especially if OHEB's just really keen on looking for the right targets. And just as we mentioned, the Apex Predator being caged, at that moment he just felt unleashed.
No, he caged Ollie all. It was a total opposite. I'm not locked in here with you, you're locked in here with me or something like that. Liquid up now by 3,000 gold. Brigida, 6 minutes in, they missed out on the first turtle, but that turtle was but a speed bump. It seems like the cavalry, the stampede is just getting started.
Yep, it's gonna be a lot more terrifying if Liquid have learned how to adjust, even despite not taking the first turtle for themselves. Because I feel like that's a major thing.
My god!
But JP already using the Revitalize, only fighting up against Light at this point though, so they won't necessarily be taking any kills from there.
He's fine. This is what JP is built to do. He's a trailblazer. Checking how deep the rest of Liquid can dive in. The bottom lane though, this is definitely the recovery lane. It's totally in shambles. Again, 6.5 minutes in, I don't think Dom and Kite expected to be this far out. I'm pretty sure he still expected that tier 1 to be there until he built maybe his 3rd item. But now, what's he at even? Maybe he's on his winter, his Hunter Strike,
yeah,
and then maybe on the way to the Sky Piercer. Like, that is best case scenario for a Granger that was pushed out of his lane this early.
But at the very least, he hasn't died just yet, and it's not like we don't see him suddenly pick up some maniacs every now and then when Aurora actually find that one big team fight. So that could be a possibility for them, but a 2-man final slash forcing Demon Kite to move away. Carl TZ has the turtle all to himself, but not for now. That's another way of the Dragon onto Demon Kite. What a perfect pick-off for Team Liquid Philippines.
Edward coming in with the bravest fighter. Everyone getting hit hard via the help of that Echoes, but they're struggling to find the follow-through.
Now Light might go down next, but Sanford has all his eyes set on Kite. He picks up Light for now. Kite runs away, but Edward will be the trade.
The juice ain't worth the squeeze. Aurora are struggling to set up an amazing combo wombo across the big 5v5s, but they just can't make it work. Too much of a disruptor Liquid's picks are. The way the Dragon, the final slash out, even that rogue arrow from Sanji ruins everything RORA's trying to set up.
Because you could see Light. You could see Light trying to find a way to the key members of Team Liquid Philippines. He actually got to stand in front of Carl TZ. But that's the thing, he was all alone because of, again, the amount of disruption that's in Team Liquid's lineup.
And that's why the setup seems so slow. That's why even when you think Aurora should have started take 1, 2, 3 down from Liquid, you're like, how do you do that when 2 have already died on your side? Aurora are down 5k gold. The stats say Demon Kite is down 5 minutes away from reaching level 15 away from Carl TZ, and Carl hasn't even gotten kills. He's just been farming like a madman.
Yep, and he's already 2k up ahead of Demon Kite. This is a very unusual scenario that we're seeing right now where Demon Kite's behind in terms of levels, in terms of gold, and he's not able to keep up entirely. I mean, that's a 3-level gold lead we're seeing in the hands of Carl TZ.
Golden EXP, it's miserable. But these 2 mid laners, let's talk about this real quick. Astral Recall into the Star Shatter versus the Abyssal Arrow. Better hit rates on Yue. But what does it mean? Oh my God, the Purified has stopped. The final slash is Sanford. Gets shut down. The hunter becomes the hunted.
And now,
AOG back.
that's the first stack that they get on his Sky Piercer. Will they continue this fight though? Because they already lost 2. And that's right before this Lord actually spawned, Leo.
So 3v5. Liquid, for the first time in a while, have to consider we have less bodies on the floor. Sanji throwing out an arrow.
What? Light's already half HP with just that single combo. And now that's making things a bit awkward for Aurora.
The
But they're
blitz!
still deciding to blitz the Lord. Carl TZ trying to make his way. He has to deal with Edward first. OM looking for a target. And it's going to be Light instead. But on the other side of the map, Carl TZ finding Edward. And Sanji has a double kill.
Oh my
Carl
God!
TZ and Sanji! What a chase from the cavalry!
Nothing comes for free. A stampede in the wake of a stolen Lord. RORA, highway robbery up against Liquid when they were down 5,000 gold. Liquid with a punish.
What Lord? That Lord's gone! Team Liquid Philippines! It's as if it never even existed. It wasn't even able to get past their tier 2 turret. That's how quick they were able to deal with the Lord right after they just forced the fight. And normally, fights that are forced after you lose the objective are very dangerous, but they made it work.
This is the prime example of living outside of your means. They spent their whole paycheck to have one night of fun, and they spent all of their resources to try and steal one Lord, and they lost 3. Make that 4 members on the way out. Liquid ended up with a bigger lead because Aurora got tunnel visioned from that Lord. 7,000 gold now between them, and all the outside turrets wiped out.
And I just said, Kite got his first Sky Piercer stack, but then
Got shut down.
he got shut down. I don't even know if you could consider it to be a shutdown, because he just had a single kill.
So he has like 5 stacks now, because you lose half of it on the way out when you die. Looking at the items, so far 2,000 between these gold laners. The time-tested Granger and the Assassin in the gold lane, that show. And then between Demon Kite, Carl TZ, forget about it. That's 3,000 gold now.
That's too much. Even JP, knowing what he has to do and what his job is, prioritizing the Twilight armor. So that's why you always see him standing in front of wherever Yue tries to throw out those star shutters. But Mountain Shocker, Astral Echo thrown out as a response. But they won't commit anything just yet. But look at how Team Liquid Philippines constantly forces Aurora near the base.
Dag nabbit, you see how many projectiles were thrown out? The boat, that arrow, a random final slash can come in via a flicker, an AOG from Daddy JP. It's just too much that Liquid is throwing at RORA without even considering that gold lead. Again, 7,000 gold. Calculating now, that's a full item on each of the cores, plus change across each role.
And although you would want to look at Aurora's potential in the late game, the way that you could definitely depend on the Novaria and the Granger for their late game damage, it feels like the setups take a lot more time compared to Team Liquid Philippines, who could just decide to fight whenever they want to.
Oh, yeah.
You could say, I guess, it's the same for Edward, but that's just Edward. When you want Light, Yue, and Kite to be in sync with one another, then there has to be a certain sequence to how they lay out their skills. Team Liquid Philippines, it feels like all these projectiles you mentioned are just thrown out whatever they want to.
Yep, and it's not like Edward or Light can catch them for you. They have to be proactive in positioning, proactive in initiating, and they just can't die. Again, when Light or Edward are at half health, the rest of RORA have to back out. So there's the Mount Shocker. Crown TG sees everyone.
What? Why is actually Light still there? I think that's going to be my question for now, because that's going to be a free kill over to Liquid. And who did the zoning for them? It's just JP, I think.
It was unnecessary. Light was way too far, light years away from where the rest of RORA were. I don't know what the comms were, bring it up, but one can only assume, oops, something to that effect.
Because I feel like they wanted to make their way, but this is an 8K gold lead nonetheless.
Huge.
We've seen instances of Lancelot stealing away objectives countless times, especially in this season.
Maybe only second to Hayabusa as the most steal-capable hero.
Yeah, but he couldn't even get past all these walls that Team Liquid are putting up.
And I think that is the right thing to do. I'll give kudos to RORA for that, except for the fact that Light overstayed his welcome. He was in too deep. Now Liquid, setting up the push, throwing out that Echoes. RORA are taking this very slowly. This is the right way to do it.
Okay, they might actually... Or, yeah, Aurora denied that tier 3 down bottom. Every wave is so far well taken care of by Aurora. They're not letting their base turrets down. And Team Liquid Philippines, I'm liking how they're really respecting Aurora's defense capabilities. Because I think the threat of a glorious pathway slowing you down is still there either way. Once you overcommit, you don't have your AOG to get out anymore, then there are still chances for Aurora to punish you.
Yep. And Liquid's time ain't exactly running out. You saw how hard that arrow scales. Dominkai caught one randomly down bottom. It was half his health plus the tick damage from the Impure Rage. And that's what a 10,000 gold deal will do to you at 15.5 minutes. What else are they picking up? Oh my, he's just 3 items in!
Oh, and the Divine Glaive.
The chef is cooking with half a kitchen right now.
Yeah, he only needs 1 more item.
There it is.
Compared to Yue, who needs 2 more.
Oh, well, he was on his way to Holy Crystal.
Yeah, that's also...
It should make a
thing.
difference.
So you might, or you should be feeling the damage, especially if JP doesn't catch it, because I think he's looking to catch every single one of them. Like all those Star Shatters, even those bullets that come in from Dominkite. Oh, but speaking of full builds, Dominkite, I think he should be really ready to fight now. He already completed his item build, locking in his last item, which is the Sea Halberd.
Yep. So all this healing from Sanford, from JP, the shields that OHIP generates through Only Fast, should slowly be worked on. But again, this is the nature of their lineup. They need setup. They need Light to stun the right target.
Yeah.
They need the Echoes to hit at least 2 or 3. And then that's how these bullets from Dominkite will make a difference. And not to even mention his stacks, right?
Yeah.
I don't think his energy is in a place where he's comfortable. He hasn't had the best early to mid game. Now that we enter the late game with this Lord spawning in the lower quarter, we'll see if RORA can do both those things. Set up for their team fight and take care of the map.
Yeah, if Team Liquid even would let them find that opening, because I think they're so good at splitting the map too, just because they have a Cho in the gold. So you could see how OHEB's just consistently trying to manage the waves, not necessarily putting himself alongside the other members of Liquid, so that Aurora could see and have full information as to where everyone is, but OHEB finds the way of the dragon on Demon Kite, just kicking him away!
Oh my
Not
God!
the best angle though, Edward jumping in, gets revealed by the Echo as well, but Light! Will he survive this? He gets to survive with the glorious pathway!
Light lives! And Aurora pull out so much from Liquid. They spent a good amount of their ults and of course a couple of battle spells, while Aurora only use up their ults and Light's revitalize. Look at this, Carl D this whole time was playing with the Lord. Now it's at a 10th of its health. I think Liquid are gonna secure.
Yep, OHEB knows where Demon Kite is. Demon Kite's up top, but without a flicker, OHEB couldn't chase. But that was such a bold move from OHEB. The one that we saw in mid where he just decided to commit his ultimate onto a Demon Kite who was surrounded by other members of Aurora.
Yep, and again, he can get away with it. Look at his items. It's not exactly just pure assassination. He has the warrior boots, he has the breastplate, so he has extra resilience to be able to use his dashes to get out. Liquid got away from what could have been Aurora's possible clapback while securing the Lord along the way. Bottom lane, say goodbye.
Was that just the single arrow from Carl that damaged Dominkite to almost half? Oh, but look at the damage from the Star Shutter.
Ow!
You gotta respect Yue at this point too.
Bring it up, looking at Sanji. What are you talking about? I think the arrow hurts more than the shatter at this point.
You cannot catch the arrows if you're Doming or you're Yue. Let Light do it. Let maybe even Edward do it, because he has an ability to just immune himself from those stuns and not get caught. But I think if earlier Liquid Philippines had a bit more room to let Aurora defend, it's becoming a bit scarier this time that Yue and Domikite have all their items and damage locked in.
Yep, not to mention, even Demon Kite is just but 1,000 or so away from fully building his final item. I would assume that this is a Blade of Despair. So that means RORA is in fighting form. If we do get to that point, which I'm guessing is what, the 21-minute mark? So just in time for this final Lord, which again, I'm not counting on RORA will get. Because look at the map, something that we haven't really been talking about much. Liquid structures are untouched.
Oh yeah.
Not a single turret. It's that bad.
And even the placements of the arrows and every single member of Liquid, honestly, because Oheb's always opposite where the others are. Sanji, the way he just places all these arrows in areas where Aurora could just walk through, so they always have an idea of where they could potentially be approaching the next objective. It makes it so hard for Aurora, who, based on their lineup, just naturally need to walk towards wherever they want to go.
Oh my god, they catch two!
Oh, it's a flicker from Sanji on a failed attempt to assassinate Domikite. A pickoff just in time for Aurora.
Overextension from the Lone Stallion. Not in a while has a nickname been so ironically perfect. Sanji was left out to cook. He flickered in for that.
I think that's not the kind of Lone Stallion play we're used to seeing.
Not like this. He's not here for the Lord.
He's not gonna be there. Okay, Sanford picking up the Oracle, but still they're one member down. Oheb, does he want to join this?
This is the best shape for Aurora to actually go for this major objective, but they have to keep eyes on the Filipino sniper. He might get away with this split push, the rat strat.
He's actually forcing a reaction. Who's gonna work and deal with the waves?
You know what?
Edward?
I think it's worse than what we think. It might not be a split push. He might actually intercept whoever goes to defend. Oheb makes himself known, visible. Lord being pulled in by Carl. Lord at an 1/8 of its health.
Yep, they denied Aurora from potentially blitzing the Lord. Now Carl's holding it. JP catching the Star Shutters and even the Thor grows, but the damage has been too much. Phantom Execution already committed, and the AOG is used as well.
All right, Light holds the Pixel Brush away from the Apex Predator. Domikite pulling in.
Oh, Demon Kite's very low. He wanted to recall, but Sanford just keeps checking the brushes. And now it might be Light. That's the target. Oheb just in time. Stunning Light. Taking him down, and Carl TZ takes the Lord.
Baby Cakes doing work. Looping RORA. Round and round. Defend down bottom. Take the Lord. Defend the base. Steal this objective, and Aurora couldn't make a decision. Liquid score their third major objective.
What was the thought process of Oheb during the entire time? I thought he'd be a bit more pressured to join because they lost one member, but he just stayed down bottom, pushed the waves, and made Aurora let go of the objective.
I think all the more he had to be as annoying. He had to be that much bigger of a menace to influence RORA's decision-making and to muddle their thought process. Because, look, Sanji's missing. I have to make up for both fighting with the Lord and this push down bottom. I'll do both.
Yep. Oh, does this arrow land on someone? Domikite fortunately gets to dodge it, but that's a good seal. Astral Echo revealing multiple members. Phantom Execution in. Demon Kite briefly gets taunted, but is this enough time for Aurora? The deal with the Lord! Edward jumping in, stunning multiple members. Demon Kite just waiting for Carl, and they take him down first. Sanford could only do so much when he's left alone. Oheb and Sanji have to run away, but he gets caught by the Star Shutter. Immortality won't be popped, but they have to let go of Sanford.
Massive predictions from members of Aurora, considering where the vengeance might go. The dashes of Sanford, 2 free kills for Aurora, kicking Liquid out of their base.
Sanford and Carl are nowhere to be found.
Not for about 40 seconds.
And they might just go for this one-way push to take the most that they can after Liquid's turrets being untouchable for how many minutes now?
These three can't defend from the 5 on Aurora. Look at Oheb from the back line. What's the Filipino sniper gonna do? AOG!
AOG from JP, but they get to burst him down. That's the immortality already popped. Does JP get away with this? It's a no!
Oheb still hiding. Oheb, what's the plan? Star Shadow throw. Now Domikite!
Oh! Was that the way of the dragon dodged?
Yes, it was!
In a split second, Demon Kite got to dodge!
I could have sworn Oheb was gonna go straight for Doming, but instead it's Demon Kite who flushes him out of the brush. No one taken out from Aurora in their attempt to go straight down mid. Lord spawned. RORA doing a little bit of homework, cleaning up their base as Sanji spots Domikite. The Domikite T40.
Still not over it. How do you dodge a Way of the Dragon that was committed to you while he was inside the bush? But Sanji trying to look for targets here. Demon Kite holding the Lord.
Phantom execution, spent in, Glory's pathway.
Oh, Sanford now is the target. He gets to use the final slap, but he doesn't survive for long. Now Aurora gain access to Carl. What can Sanji and Oheb do?
Oheb coming in! Demon Kite dashes through!
But he gets stunned by light, and he doesn't get to do his full combo. He's just trying to escape, but Demon Kite finds Sanji instead.
The chef gets cooked. It's a 3-man coalition from Liquid. RORA hunting Carl down.
And with the flicker star shutter combo, the GOAT is taken down.
Yue doesn't miss Lord to Aurora.
As if the entire 20 minutes weren't in favor of Liquid. Aurora with such a massive clapback, but Oheb in an attempt to find a trade pops the immortality of Domikite, but that's all he can do.
Daddy JP doing his darndest to get something out of the exchange. Takes out Domikite, but it's too late.
He's left alone, and with no one from Liquid to defend. This 26-minute game ends in the hands of Aurora.
A window where RORA could actually punish TLPH with this gritty lineup.
Let's see if the streak will continue here for Aurora Gaming as we move on forward for our game number 2 upper bracket finals. TLPH still missing a point. Let's head on over to the land of the Endcasters. It's your time.
And I don't think there was enough time between game 1 and now to recover. We just came from a 26-minute slobber knocker. Leo and Brigida bringing you the second game in this best-of-5 series. Team Liquid Philippines looking to recover against Aurora.
This was a surprising draft we're seeing from Team Liquid, mainly because it's a bit too obvious that they're trying to maybe play for the late game. And stats show that they don't really perform that well when we're past the 18-minute mark.
This was an in-depth discussion you had with Hans in the panel over yesterday's matches. But also, just to juxtapose the thesis on Midnight's draft. Oh my God, Yue!
Okay.
I think Aurora's draft, if we're gonna revert to something closer to pre-Project Next, looks better. Because I'm surprised that this Gatot Kachak went all the way through the second phase without anyone banning it.
That's true. It's a mixture of them prioritizing the picks they really want to deny first, taking away the R-lot even from Sanford in the first phase of the draft, but it's not like they weren't able to prevent the Alice from coming into play, but then again, it just adds to how farm-heavy Team Liquid Philippines and their composition is overall, so I don't think we'll be seeing them as aggressive to start things off, but at least they have a lot of ways to just deal with the macro and prolong the game as needed. But hold on, if it's about aggression we're talking about, I think Carl TZ wants to show us just that. Light looking to be the target here, and Ogi shadow kill committed just to take first blood.
That was a 3v2 fight that Demon Kite had to walk all the way through, and he just did not make it in time. That's just kind of the cons you have to live with if you have a Fredrin. It's been a hot minute since we've seen the Appraiser make his way into a game.
Yeah, and it's understandable if you're Aurora that you get to extend that much. You have a Kimmy on your side, and the mid lane supposedly really favors whoever has the Kimmy in their lineup. But it seems like Team Liquid might not get to contest this.
Carl soloing a small camp, and Light could not stop him. I got his eyes at the minimap.
So, despite all that, Light still has his eyes on Carl TZ, not exactly letting go of where this, I'd say, all over the map Hayabusa is.
Yeah.
Because even just now, before that first blood, he already showed us how aggressive he wants to play this game. Maybe even being one of the main players to play aggressive in this entire lineup that we're seeing from Team Liquid.
That's right, Carl TZ's Hayabusa is a thing of beauty. If you talk about his best heroes in Season 16, I'd say Lancelot, Shin, and then this Hayabusa action breaking out at mid.
Oh, Throne of Ruin by Sanford catching 3, SOD also landing, but the Aura joins this. Edward doesn't land the final slash, but the AOG's perfect.
Bang!
Appraiser's Wrath. Sanford gets taken down. JP might be next. There's just so much hold from Aurora.
The Alice is just a sexier Uranus.
Yes. I heard
Emphasis on Uranus. At the end of the day, no matter how sustainable you are, after your Throne of Ruin,
that. Oh, the perfect vengeance to evade and cancel out the OG Shadow Kill. It's not a flicker, but it acts the same way. Hold on, Oheb!
close call on two different fronts of the map. Back to what I was saying, at the end of the day, after that Throne of Ruin, you're still just a sustainable, annoying XP laner.
That's about it. You stand in front of everyone, you try to annoy them, but if they have enough damage, then what do you do next? Oh my goodness! 3-man stun!
The 3-time MPL champion stops the forward momentum of 3 hero Domikai!
Oh, but what Oheb doesn't know is that there are 3 members of Aurora waiting for him! I don't know if it was just perfectly timed or predicted by Aurora, but that was painful to watch.
Call it a sting operation. They knew that Oheb had this killer instinct in him, and he saw a lone Granger, but he didn't see the other 2 members waiting in the wings. It looks like Aurora are going to be scoring their second turtle. Sanford trying to grab one, pull a fast one over Aurora. Not going to happen. They're up about 1,000 and change.
Yep. This is expected from the lineup. Hold on. Edward still wanting to go in for the fight. Crimson Beacon already used. JP gets to escape with the Glorious Pathway, but it's been a very aggressive 4 minutes. Just 4 minutes so far for Aurora. And what does Oheb do? He just has to walk away.
He does his best, bring it up. He does his best. RORA have stepped on his neck and stopped him from farming. The first 5 minutes has been hell for this Moskov. Looking at the items and of course what that translates to in economy. He's down about 1,500 away from Dominkite.
Could have been more if he didn't use his SOD just to get that gold card that was clearly denied of him, or nearly denied from him, just because of how well Aurora's been controlling the gold lane. And this has been a trend so far. This is expected considering TLPH's lineup. But how do they show us the changes once they don't get the early game? Because time and time again, that's what we've been constantly pointing out as their requirement to win the game, to get to do the Liquid Stampede. But this is something they walked into. They drafted this way. They expected this to happen.
You know what? In the playoffs, anything can happen. RORA can even win on Flying Clouds. That's what this map is all about. And they do flank Sanford to the bottom lane.
Can't even use the cleave. Throne of Ruin is all he can do. But does he have enough sustain? Oh! Barely tries to survive. And that's another Piercer stack picked up by Dominkite. Carl TZ versus Edward. It's a 1v1, but final slash still makes it. Fortunately, the other members of Team Liquid are there, but that was a close call.
All right, 3 dudes from Liquid, no problem. 4, that's where he draws the line. A little too much for Mr. Consistent to deal with, but what this does is open up the lower corner of the map where the turtles spawn. 3 for 3, Aurora, 100% on turtle take rates.
Look at how US just defending this turret. Carl TZ has to escape. Oh, he walks away, but does not escape death. Light and Yue take down Carl TZ.
The GOAT got tunnel vision. He really wanted to push in. Did not have enough backup. Down bottom, Dominkite has 2 on him. This is what you can do with a utility jungler. Yep. You're able to really put your foot down and say, the rest of you guys do that and hold on. That's why it's a macro-centric hero. Oh my god, JP!
That's the tankiest member of Team Liquid right now. But Aurora without hesitation, committing the final slash. That's how confident they are at this point. Demon Kite, though, he does not walk away from that.
It's a little too much to expect to survive all that, but again, RORA, sleight of hand. You're looking at the right hand, the left is already committing a crime. They pushed into you to a top. As I was saying, if you're a utility jungler, you can do these kinds of things. One of those things is sacrifice yourself because you're less of a asset to your team, so you can afford to die. Second is you can hold down fights so much longer. Carl Teasy, when he died in the top lane, there was no business for him doing that. Not for that long. So Aurora, they're still on point here, on course. 4,000 gold up, 8 minutes in.
This time it's Aurora who's had their turrets untouched for the entire past 8 minutes of the game. Team Liquid Philippines are struggling. They might be waiting for one team fight that they get to win, and it's from that where they just pivot and try to convert into objectives, because the way it's looking right now, could they even split up? Like, I know that's something OHEB would want to do, but based on how Aurora's been rotating, they're not making it easy for the Moscow.
I think they can. They just have to be very specific about it. Like now, see this? It's clear where Aurora is. They show themselves on the map. It helps that the Lord is going to be a beacon, a magnet for TLPH to try and consider where they're coming from. But look, we're still looking at the maybe number 2 best hero to steal Lords with. That's a high boost. Oh, Edward steps in.
Behind Edward, final stack already committed. Throne of Ruin might just stun 3. Oh! Dominkite gets taken down by Sanji, but before he does, JP gets taken down as well. It's a 1-for-1 trade so far, and OHEB, that's what you were talking about. So he finally gets to push the waves.
And it's also very fortunate that Liquid found Dominkite. If it was anyone else that died, maybe even Edward or Demonkite, that would have been okay. RORA would have forced the issue, but no, it was Dominkite. It was their main damage source.
It was just unfortunate that he was right behind that wall, and once he flickered, he found himself right beside the Lord and in front of Sanji's Crimson Beacon. So that was a very awkward position to be in if you were Dominkite, but they also probably didn't expect that there were other members of Liquid who could come in from the mid lane, because they were probably expecting everyone to just hold those brushes down bottom close to the back of the wall where the Lord is. So now it's a second chance for Aurora to potentially take this.
I think it was premeditated. Liquid really cordoned off RORA's exit to compromise Dominkite's positioning, and then in turn they killed him. That was really good for Liquid. Now, Demonkite finds that taunt. Lord at about half health.
That was a knockup from the Lord. Edward working on Sanji though, but Demonkite goes down! OM joining the fight as well. This Lord is going into the hands of Liquid. Carr will get traded, however, and they're trying to chase after Liquid, but all they want to do is walk away.
Liquid definitely winning out on that trade. They pick off Demonkite, take the Lord, and everything else is extra collateral damage. Carl Teasy is, but it's worth it. RORA did not see this angle coming. I didn't see this angle coming. I think Liquid just worked their way into closing this gap. 4,000 gold cut down to just 1.
I think it was just normal movement from a Fredrin, from a utility jungle.
It was the right thing.
You switch targets, you stand in front of everyone. But where did the damage even come from for them to burst him down that much? Or I also think the Lord knockup had something to do with it, because it was an unexpected timing of Lord knockups that helped Liquid try and be a bit more aggressive. And that's where Demonkite found himself bursted down.
Yeah, something tells me Sanji sitting with 2 stacks on his Sky Piercer, maybe 3 stacks. I have lost track of where exactly to count from. Made that death on Demonkite, that kill on Demonkite so much more possible, so much more faster. And the Appraiser's Wrath almost made no difference.
We couldn't even feel it. I mean, JP was already expecting to receive majority of the damage from the Appraiser's Wrath, but at this point, that's what you want to see from JP. That he can just confidently stand in front of these members, of these annoying heroes of Aurora, so Liquid can know where to position themselves, and finally, after trying to be a bit more careful for so long, they get to take away some turrets from themselves.
Oh man, the map has equalized. Literally, 2 for 2. RORA now just have barely 1,000 gold up over Liquid. Where did this go wrong? It's not like Yu is not in the right position to deal damage. Dominkite only died once. Demon Kite died twice. One of them was kind of warranted. So it's just Liquid finding their groove. Looking at the items now, it is a Swift Trinity for Oheb. Carl TZ also has 3 strong, hard-hitting items. And Sanford, I think Sanford's last death might have been his actual last, because he's on his way to a full Cursed Hell. Once he builds that Winter Crown, I don't think we're going to ever see him die again.
Yeah. Maybe this is where a bit too much attention on caging the Predator starts to backfire.
Because it's just not worth it. It takes too much time.
And I don't think, like, maybe Sanford even wants you to pay so much attention to him at this point. Majority of the damage of the disruption will come from him, yes, but not the damage. And he's not the guy who needs to be there until the very end of the team fight.
Oh yeah.
So maybe essentially kind of similar to the Fredrin.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's got to be Oheb, it's got to be Carl. Sanji is the finisher. The fact that Sanford is so annoying and could impact a team fight so much from the XP lane on this Alice is that game changer. So Aurora, how do they react? Maybe don't pay attention to Sanford as much. Like, as much as you can avoid the Throne of Ruin.
Yeah,
that's easier said than done.
Because either way, he's gonna show up anyway. He is definitely gonna use that Throne of Ruin and try to position himself in front of as much people as he can. So he will voluntarily walk up to you, and you don't need to work so hard to do that, but where are they trying to come from this time?
Look at the angle that Sanford's coming through. Edward spots him. Glory's pathway.
JP already low. Edward using the final slash, but Sanford stuns so much. It's you and Kite now very low. Demon Kite looking at the next target. Carl TZ with a double Ogi Shadow kill now, trying to go for Doming. Fortunately has a dash, but that's 3 members already taken down.
Easier said than done isn't even the start of it. Sanford almost single-handedly helped Liquid win that fight. 3 for none, the Throne of Ruin, everyone on a trampoline. Aurora have to defend.
What do we say about Sanford just walking up to everyone and making it easy? And now they're trying to just take as much as they can. Kite defending. Oh, the Wind of Nature already committed. Sanford blocking the bullets. But that was such a great defense from Kite too.
RORA lose 1 inhibitor. Almost lost mid. They're gonna lose their purple buff. Liquid are up 3,000 gold. Oh my lord, how do you stop Sanford? It's not like he even built his winter crown. Brigitte, you said it right. You said it best. He just walked up and said, what are you gonna do about it? Now, I hate to cry over spilled milk, but did RORA not respect Liquid's propensity for crowd control? Not a single Purify.
Yeah, I guess there was a bit too much attention on JP as well. It looked like JP was
or on Carl.
Definitely going down in that instant, but who would have thought? Again, even we were surprised to see Sanford holding that bush. And now he just comes in with the flicker, and we might see another one. But they'll be a bit more patient this time because Aurora already takes care of the Lord.
They're still breathing, they're still in this. Glory's pathway by Daddy JP. Liquid looking to scare Aurora away from defending. They do keep that inhibitor up top and the base intact.
Correct. Aurora still in this game. We're looking like we're about to approach another 20-minute game, honestly, if
looks like it.
Aurora are able to still hold this a bit longer. But I think there's not much in terms of the damage dealers if we're looking at gold. Because Sanji, Yue, Oheb, and Kite, there's not even 1,000 gold difference existing between these
Yeah,
heroes.
no, it's not about a difference in firepower. It really is everything else that goes with it. It's the garnish, the meat, the protein is sound. It's tasty. But what else do you partner it with? Let's watch that sequence once again. Look at Sanford. I don't think it was enough that Edward was there to check him in. All right, 40 flickered in. He didn't walk up. He gleamed, flickered in, and I think that scared the bejesus out of RORA.
Yeah, and he came from the left mid-bush at that.
Yep, it was an ankle breaker. He came from the left, gleamed to the right, and then flickered again to the left.
All the while, Aurora probably thought they had everything under control.
Nah, not this Predator.
Nah.
Not the Apex Predator, Sanford. Okay, so they have 2 two anti-heals, right? They have the Sea Halberd on Doming. They have the Glowing Wand on Yue. Is that enough? JP, oh my god, trying to split up RORA.
Hold on, he's in the middle of 4, but Sanford once again finding Yue, forces the flicker as well, but Edward and Demon Kite doing all the zoning! The Cyclone Eye actually did not help Aurora there! Sanji's unstoppable right now!
Wise is watching from home. He knows how much that hurts. Dominkai backing up, almost gets choked out by Sanji.
There's another Lantern Flare, Light trying to walk away, but there's another knockup play! A monster kill for the Lone Stallion, Dominkai and Yue! Can they defend this? OHEP doesn't care! The Cavalry...
As way scarier team fights in game number 3.
Same, but different scenarios here for TLPH and Aurora. Lock and loaded for our draft. Let's head on over for our game number 3. Who will get another point? Casters, it's your time.
You know what? I agree with Midnight and Athena. In addition to the draft, the way Liquid played in game 2 definitely dictates the pace. They have the momentum going into game number 3.
And I also have to
Welcome
say
to Mobile
that I'm really
Legends.
feeling how much Coach RC wants to get his revenge back. He's been so commendable in terms of drafting for how many games in a row now. It was a bit surprising to see the Lunox immediately come in, but for the past few games, it's been such a high priority. But for Sanji to go this route, I'm hoping this is still signature aggressive Sanji, but that's a bit more balanced compared to game number 2.
I think it's signature aggressive everything for Liquid. Looking at the early game start, RORA posting up towards that Little Wanderer, stopping a majority of Liquid from crossing over. Even this XP Crab coin will be contested very hardly, and JP coming in, looking for a sneaky pull. Can confirm, ladies and gentlemen, it is an undefeated Lunox in the hands of the chef, Lone Stallion Sanji.
Yep, but it seems like they're really trying to make things a bit harder for Sanji. Yue on the eve clearly has the range advantage, and they're probably gonna stay like this for a while.
That's right. More on RORA's draft before any more action breaks out. It's a very M4 looking draft. Like, look at it. Look at it. These heroes are old school.
Yeah. Just now we had this, or I was asking you about, what was Sansan looking like again back in M4? Because now Sanford, it seems like the heroes are becoming a bit similar to that, but Sanji's been sticking with a very particular hero pool. He's been using less, I think, even compared to last season. So there are just certain options on the board for Sanji.
Yeah, if you ask me if this version of Liquid looks close to how they look when they won in Jakarta in M4 a few years back, it's very different now. They've definitely grown. Turtle already very low.
Okay, Shadow kill! Shadow through it just in time, but it's still not enough for Carl to steal away the objective.
Oh!
Now Sanford has to go down.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. RORA learned. Not like that, 4D, not again. He spent everything. The flicker, the Throne of Ruin, did not work this time against Aurora. Not so fast, RWM!
And the AOG to try and provide a bit more pressure. JP could not get out of that. So Aurora have been using so much, but OM down bottom. Can he take down Dominkai? It's not going to be enough. Vengeance committed too, but Doming survives.
That is elementary MLBB. When a vengeance is popped, you just stop.
Stop.
Hands off.
Move away.
No means no.
Don't attack.
Don't
Sanji.
do it.
Oh, okay.
Synchronized shrieks.
Yes, he is not having a good time.
Next level synergy. Across the map, they're not done!
Sanford, Gleam gets to keep him safe, but Carl cannot farm in peace. Demon Kite's in his jungle. He even might steal away this orange buff. Look at how Light's blocking everyone else. JP and Sanford trying to help him, but can he take it this time? He doesn't have the retribution.
Nor does Carl.
They push him, or they push Demon Kite away.
That was a close call. If Demon Kite stayed there maybe for 2 or 3 more seconds, that retribution would have come off cooldown and RORA would have committed Grand Theft Orange. Demon Kite the main culprit, and the rest of them accessories of the crime. Looking at the rest of the map, the bottom lane, I think, is the closest thing you can say as a neutral lane for Liquid, because everywhere else, RORA's winning.
Yeah, I'm liking how Aurora are starting to put in so much respect to this Hayabusa of Carl Tizzy. Because even in the previous game, it's like this Hayabusa single-handedly tried to hold down the early game for that very farm-heavy lineup that they tried to go for.
Oh my god, the flicker to save him!
Oh my goodness, the curtain call. Is it going to be enough?
AOG!
No, everything's there, but Dominkite under the turret will not fall.
Bring it up. That's still a good chunk of damage reduction. They changed a lot of things in Project Next, but not the gold lane turret shield damage reduction. Turtle now at a fifth of its health. I think RORA can easily secure.
Even when Light had to respond to what was happening down bottom, Edward and Demonkite were more than enough to take this objective freely from Liquid. But there's another conceal play. Does Oheb sense that there's something going on?
Yep, he does. He had Daddy JB to check for him. Yue already made himself known, and then Light just flushed out those bushes. RORA up by 3,000 gold, under 5 minutes. This is a great start for Aurora.
Yeah.
What happened in game 2, I think, woke up a beast in him.
I agree. Now they're using this utility jungler, this Fredrin, so aggressively. And just as I mentioned that, he's walking back towards Liquid's jungle.
Yep. That's something you can't do as an assassin.
That is... Oh! Thought Sanji was going to use the brilliance there.
Hold up. 2-lane push, top and bottom. The cavalry got a little cross-eyed, like they didn't know where to defend. That was free.
Is this the effect of just how good the pressure is from Aurora? That their jungler doesn't feel as free and that they are a bit more pressured to provide some assistance to Carl Tizzy?
I think, yeah, the answer is simply yes, because Liquid, look at this, they are a team fighting lineup more now than ever. The other game they had a Moscow, so they could have split the map, but now they just really want to convert. They really want to win big and then take turrets. Without winning big, they can't take turrets.
Oh no, Carl!
Oh!
The energy eruption! The taunts from Demonkite. Now they gain access to the purple buff. Embracer's Wrath is touched, but not the real world manipulation. JP gets stuck inside, but Oheb's just trying to do what he can. But they inevitably have to let go of that purple buff.
They stole away Carl Tizzy's buff, and they go straight for the turtle. Demonkite closing off the entry to anything from Liquid. No contest, even for this turret in mid.
Yeah, they really want to take it this time. This is the fastest we've seen both of these teams actually get objectives away for this entire series. Another turtle might go into the hands of Aurora. Never mind, I take it back. Carl Tizzy just pops in, steals it away. But do they want to fight? Throne of Ruin committed. Light will not pursue.
Bring it up, they did not respect the fact that Carl's retribution was off of cooldown and Demonkite's was not. And I think it was correct for RORA to do that, but they needed to clear the jungle first. They needed to make sure that there was no attempt. And Liquid, they rolled the dice, they flipped the coin. They dropped everything to be able to secure it. Now they're looking to punish. 5 gold, 5,000 gold still in the middle of them.
Oh, they're going for Sanford. Oheb will not show himself anymore. He cannot afford to show himself. Aurora making quick work of all the remaining turrets. Sanji goes in, but all that just to prevent any more damage.
See, this is RORA just cracking that whip, reminding TLPH that, hey, you're still down this much gold, all right? 5,000, 6,000. Just the gold laners alone, 2,000 between them. That's what RORA needed to do. They needed to make sure that this lead would be all that mattered. And the fact that they did not check that little avenue, that little entry from Liquid side of the jungle to that turtle pit meant all the difference. So, you know, it's a final turtle, a little bit of mojo boost for the rest of the cavalry, all the fans here in Cuneta watching the blue side of the arena. Well, technically the red. Let's look at how Liquid can clap back, all right? Number one, stealing objectives. It's clear that Carl Tizzy has it in him. He got that dog to steal stuff, but are we waiting for Sanji to come online? Because Oheb, sure, is a gold laner, but he's a fighter gold laner. Is Sanji going to be the next in line to be that, you know, clean source of damage?
Yeah, I guess if it's Sanji we're talking about, he just needs to watch out for Demonkite. Like, if he does go in, or maybe not just even Demonkite, the real world's there, the Unbreakable's there. So positioning, as you would say to any Lunox user, is very, very crucial. go in and make themselves vulnerable to Aurora, because that's going to be one of their main strengths. It's just blocking every single member who wants to dive in.
And that's why the Lone Stallion is keeping himself scared. Look at where he's positioning himself. Very far away, hidden from RORA. They'll never know where this Lunox bomb might come from. That's Sanji DD. Turtle at half health.
Yeah, but US holding this brush too.
Lord, rather. Here we go.
Oh, now Sanji goes for Yue, but the damage doesn't seem to be enough. Edward jumps in with a Raven Spider as a response, but Light, he's holding Carl TZ down.
Oh!
Sanford dodges the Abraser's Wrath just barely, and Hoeb goes in from behind, but for some reason, Carl, he's bursted down.
And Oheb goes as well. Where one baby cake goes, the other follows. Sanji the only one left. It's a 2v1. UN Edward chasing him down.
Sanji tried. We saw it.
He did. And he was doing the right thing up until the rest of Liquid could not hold the line. Again, a huge gold diff. Items just were the main factor. Firepower. And that's why Light was able to push back 3 and delay the inevitable.
I think he even had to use his flicker there just to get close enough to Yue, which we might get to confirm in this instant replay. Again, we will keep saying, oh, he didn't use that flicker. So it was just in this moment where he used it to find the right target.
The final reposition.
Oh, he got to take down Donkey, but the damage, even when I think that... Okay, maybe we talk about that later on. Demon Kai takes the Lord. Edward holding down 2 AOG from Light. But will this be enough? Throne of Ruin already committed. Carl TZ's the first to fall.
Not like this, says Aurora. Not again. As Dominkai takes down 40 after taking Edward. It's a wipeout pending.
Vengeance committed, but does that keep him alive? It's a no. A wipeout by Aurora.
The blinding lights stumble into the Stallions, and the Stampede is quelled. A Lord and 5 kills over to Aurora.
Now they will definitely be clearing the outer turrets, possibly even the top lane turret, base turret of Team Liquid. And that's exactly where the Lord is approaching, but there are no Holy Shields left.
Even bottom lane still standing. About 40 seconds left for that to make it work. Make it worth it to protect. In Aurora, they know that this Lord won't stand for too long. Liquid are in the danger zone. They are in self-preservation mode right now.
I just gotta say, I can't recall the last time Carl TZ got his hands on his purple buff. And that's probably making things a lot more harder for Liquid at this point. Sanji just trying to defend this mid lane base turret. But they're struggling to do just that.
Liquid, again, the way that they've been so successful all throughout the later half of Season 16, even in the playoffs, is fighting in the paint. They like to really give it to their opponents and then, with conviction, dominate them. They convert. They don't steal. They don't try and go through technicalities and slip through the cracks. They convert. And they just haven't been able to. Again, one thing you mentioned is the purple buff. Honestly, if Carl TZ can't get his purple buff, that means he can't get to the rest of his jungle. That means he is so down on resources.
And what's scary is that even if he tries to just look for pickoffs and potentially trades across the map, Yue and Dominkite, I believe, have winter crowns. So even when there's a chance of a potential pickoff, that's just not gonna turn out good for Liquid.
Nothing. Shadow kills, forget about it. Brilliance into a Darkness Blast, forget about it. Hell, they've already learned Sanford's propensity for an ankle breaker Throne of Ruin. It worked in Game 2. They were able to steal a game from out of nowhere, a stampede through RORA in an 18-minute bout, but not this time. Aurora are choking Liquid out of these major resources that they so badly need.
That was such quick adjustment from Aurora just after that game. They're no longer caught by surprise, by any Throne of Ruin, by any Shadow kill, not even the quad shadows. They're able to time their reactions perfectly.
And I actually take it back. I stand corrected. It's not because of the lack of Purify. Liquid just went too hard and too fast. RORA can actually play this way. Flicker their way out of that Throne of Ruin. Lord Dance began. Light with a conceal. Who's he looking for?
Carl TZ seems to be the target. Unbreakable land onto him. Edward is there, but he does not use the bravest fighter just yet.
Oh, look at Sanji and
This
Sanford.
is already enough to provide some zoning. Sanford decides to go in too, though, but Light can just AOG out of there. But he spots Sanji!
Edward commits the bravest fighter, Lord of the Eighth with health.
Oh, now they're after Domikai, forces out the Winter Crown, but the Throne of Ruin again landing onto multiple members, and Carl! He gets the objective for Liquid, and they're fighting back!
Oheb Bolt fitted out for Demon Kite, and that is Sanford gleaming on out.
He doesn't get to escape, and Sanji, he's trying to look for more!
Brilliance Blast takes out Demon Kite, and it's just Edward and UL left. They take out JP. The GOAT stands alone.
He can clear the waves! But Yue and Edward, what could the plan be? The Lord is spawning right now, and they might not get to push any further. Carl still taking him on. Edward's all alone, receives majority of the Ogi Shadow kill, but he's so tanky.
All right, Edward here is doing his best to distract Liquid from taking that purple, and it's already too late. Yue yeeted away the purple buff once again from Carl Teasy. Let's check out that instant replay, that moment, that play that led to this very moment. Again, I could have sworn that Sanford and Sanji, the way they're positioning themselves, and we thought they learned their lesson. We thought Sanford was all out of tricks, but no, he still found a way.
It was perfect, because they knew that Doming did not have the Winter Crown anymore. And I couldn't even recall when Yue used his, or did he just choose not to? Oh, that's the moment he used his.
There it is.
So that's why he survived. But even Sanji, those last-minute decisions of still trying to fight, even when it was that dangerous, they probably had it all calculated either way.
So for a majority of this 15-minute game, Aurora have been getting away from the Throne of Ruin flicker, replace, instant transmission combo from Sanford, shoot through sheer mechanics. But the Apex Predator evolves, adapts on the fly, and finds a way to make it work again. So they cut that lead in half. RORA are now just up by barely 5,000 gold. So that means the firepower on Sanji and even Carl are catching up.
Yeah, he might actually go for, or the way it's looking right now, maybe a Holy Crystal next too.
He has room for 2 more items.
Yeah.
So that could be a Holy Crystal and what? One could assume Lightning Truncheon, or people don't build that anymore. The Lantern.
Yeah.
More extra damage.
And it's not going to be a great time for all those who keep standing in front of Team Liquid, of Light or Edward. They're just always the guys tanking the damage, but it's not like Sanji takes them head on, because he's always looking for different targets.
Yep.
But
Sanji has been very patient with his approach.
yeah, but even if that's been the case for him, once he gets all those items locked in, it may be a bit different. Carl, I think he finally got
Yes!
purple buff.
Without using its retribution. If I'm not mistaken, Demon Kite used his. He did! I mean, no harm, no foul, right? We know that they're going to dance in the next minute or so, but that's a clear sign again for those of y'all who are superstitious, who have a certain set of routine and beliefs. Much like Team Liquid, you know that Liquid have a set of beliefs that if they do this, they will win.
Yeah.
If Carl Teasy gets his purple, then maybe this changes things.
Especially as we're looking at a potential objective fight that's starting right now. Demon Kite's holding it so far.
Oh wait, no, that might have been an animation bug. I think Demon Kite did secure. Look, it's gone.
Or, yeah.
Huh.
So it wasn't...
He did it, he did it. That retribution was worth it for Demon Kite now. The dance fully breaking on out. That's a fourth of the health left on the Lord.
Oh, now it's a bit different. Light going in. Sanji already forced to use his chaos. But Demon Kite, while those were happening, he just took the objective for Aurora. JP, can he get out of this? Oheb still not going in. Now he does.
Oh.
But look at the real world manipulation, stopping them in their tracks.
When it comes to honesty, no one can be RORA in a fight like this.
Sanford going in, but JP, he had to receive the damage from the Appraiser's Wrath. Sanji goes in as well, but this does not look like it's gonna be good for Liquid.
It's gone sideways.
Oh, but he still survives.
Sanji still takes out Demon Kite. Oheb holding on. Down goes Sanji. Oheb the only one left.
And now there goes another wipeout with no one left to defend.
Domingkai.
Yeah.
And that's a very nice POV to see as well.
To be fair, before he was Aurora, when he was in Minana Evos, this was his most successful hero.
But still, risking it all for the match point here for Aurora. Let's see if this will be the final game. Will they be a representative and go to the grand finals? Let's head on over to our casters.
One win away for Aurora to cement themselves in the grand finals and book their ticket to Jakarta. One more game for Liquid to win to take us all the way.
And in that very crucial game, we see Domingkai pick up an Iksha in the gold lane.
This is a debut and a re-debut, if you'd like to call it. Midnight did throw back and allude to Domingkai's early days.
Yep.
Once known as Domingder or Domingar. He was with Minana Evos. That's, I think, when we started calling him Pal Doming.
Yes.
When he started, you know, really rack up the farm. And Brigida, you mentioned how you saw this on like a TikTok or something. Ixia and Eve.
There's this certain combo between the Iksha and the Eve, which lets you just lock down all your opponents if you get to put or launch the real-world manipulation
With the
at
full
perfect-
barrage.
and the full barrage at the perfect spot.
So
And
it's like geometry. Like
Yeah.
a triangle with a square or a rectangle.
But what I'm thinking about is that Sanford has a vengeance. Carl TZ may be somehow affected, but he does still have the Baxter Shield Unity.
And
But-
there's a Matilda that can just eat them out.
Yeah, but there's a Guiding Wind and the Crimson Beacon. So there are just so much blink skills
That
for
could
Liquid.
Get you out of that box. Which is, again, something Aurora is willing to play with.
Yeah.
Again, this is the threat we present. What are you going to do about it, Liquid? While Liquid is sticking to a very Liquid identity. Look at their draft and look at how brazen Carl TZ is taking that small cap away in the bottom lane. They're up by about 200. Like, that's what that small, sneaky rotation got.
Yeah, if anything, I feel like Liquid have decided to just pour all of their attention to Doming, because it's been a bit too obvious that Aurora are sticking with the Fredrin. So now they have to target Doming. But now, who is going to be the first target? Carl TZ just goes for Demon Kite straight up. There goes the RWM. And they just try to get out of the box, as mentioned. And it's so easy for them, but Edward flickers in with a Dark Wave.
Coming in with a demonic pursuit by Sanford.
That's going to be the first casualty of the game. First objective goes to Aurora
Oh!
2. And they just get more out of that.
With that first trade, would have been worth it. And the turtle made it even more, giving both of these gold laners what Joseph would like to call the gold lane experience, and I think Domingkai is having the time of his life.
He is making things harder for Oheb. Oheb just barely tried to get the remaining gold from that wave. His SOD didn't even land at the right moment to get the last hit on that second minion.
Doming sidestepped.
And he just had to risk it to take that last minion down bottom. But maybe it's also about the laning advantage. For Domingkai, the Iksha arguably can handle herself in the lane, not until someone decides to, like JP,
Yep.
rotate down bottom.
Change the math significantly. In a 1v1 situation, she has better sustainability, a little more reliable crowd control. Oheb kind of has the angle, that Spear of Misery.
Yeah, the passive and all that.
And as you can see, though the wave is at equilibrium, but still, Domingkai has that XP advantage. I wonder if there's a significant gold advantage as well. As you can see, Aurora, 3.5 minutes in, has 1,000 gold up. So that's what you get with one more kill and that turtle that you scored.
Yeah, it's so good for Doming that they won that first objective fight too, because it just allowed him to be a lot more confident here in the laning phase. The bottom lane doesn't seem to be a problem for Aurora, at least for now, because you would expect that Light might have to pay a bit more attention to this Iksha. JP could be a bit more aggressive on this Mathilda, but all I'm seeing are guiding winds provided to Oheb to reposition and keep himself safe. They're not guiding winds that try to push forward or threaten Domingkai.
Yep. So it looks like Liquid are hunkering down for what could be the inevitable defensive state that they'll be in if they have to give up every single turtle in the early game. This is the second one spawning in the lower quarter. Quite the pull from Aurora. Again, we have two utility junglers. So expect that these dances will last a little longer. Turtle approaching half health.
Yep, no one's really committing just yet, but Aurora decides to go in first. There's the real world once again. Sanford using the final slash, but no follow-up will happen. Aurora are just going all in, and Carl teases the next target. Sanji's Crimson Beacon out, but Edward follows him under the turret. And that's two members down for Team Liquid.
And one of them is the Retribution holder, so Aurora can take their sweet time. Oh my lord. You mentioned all the dashes. You mentioned how it should be easy to dodge that RWM full barrage combo, but guess what? Mr. Consistent likes it when you dash away. He gets to chase you with the Infernal Pursuit.
And guess what? They're not doing the combo. They're using it at different times.
Exactly. They're layering it. They're not getting their cake and eating it too. They're getting their cake and keeping it in their back pocket for a rainy day. And that rainy day is today as Aurora take mid lane. Aurora on their way to taking the bottom lane. They're up 2,000 gold.
All theories are gone. Aurora have a different approach at playing this lineup. And Team Liquid Philippines, they're clearly surprised by how they're doing this.
Rick, it's a full 1,000 between Oheb and Dominkite. And Dominkite just went full greed.
Oh.
Sky Piercer on this Ixia.
Sky Piercer first even, maybe.
Or
was it second?
Item.
Okay, it's
he has
second.
one fully built
Corrosion.
item. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's on his way to a Swift Trinity. But first, a little stopover, a little break there with the Sky Piercer. I think he's
That's
reading the
still
room.
something, yeah.
He's reading the room like, you guys are going to feed me the kills, and then we're going to go to Jakarta. Like, that's what's going to happen here.
They're just so close to making that happen. Because at this point, not even Sanford can look for those final slashes to make things work.
Not without triggering Edward.
And not with the real world manipulation in front of them.
That too, he has to stop. Again, sure you can dash through. You can, train on your targets with the Vengeance, but it's not like the front line of Aurora is making that easy.
Yeah, I think Carl, TZ, and Sanford have to be a lot more calculated in terms of the timings in which they go in, because it's so hard to back out when Aurora decides to punish you.
You know what? Here's one of those times where I wish Liquid had that Hayabusa to hunt down this Ixia. Because the last time it was picked was Season 14, about a year ago, September 27, 2024, by Kozin, when he was playing for TNC. So the last time it happened in MPL Philippines, RORA was on the receiving end of an Ixia.
Yeah, and that was a completely different TNC that we're talking about at the time, a year ago. Oh, Edward again has all his eyes on Sanford. But could he be the target? They're gonna settle for whatever they can, because at this point, Team Liquid, they could not get close to the objective.
Little trade though. RORA did have to open up that bottom lane. Oheb doing work, getting farm on him. Maybe that SOD missing was a little bit of bird toast. even if it did hit, like he wouldn't have to press it. Like he should keep himself scared. I think that's step one in Liquid's recovery. Don't pick fights. Guiding wind away, saving Oheb from Edward.
That's all we're seeing for now. Unfortunately, they have that, but how else can they utilize the tools that they have? They're not able to play as aggressively because of the threat of an immediate punish from Aurora. Either the real world, the full barrage, or Edward just blocking every single member of Liquid from running away. Oh, smart move from Carl, but Oheb gets caught by the Unbreakable. Oh my goodness.
Something tells me RORA have put the fear of God into Liquid. You see how fast JP flickered away?
Yeah.
I think he was expecting a full-on collapse. He's like, no way!
Because it could happen. Edward was so close nearby.
That was a jump scare.
And now all they're doing is just going for the split push. Team Liquid Philippines, they're stuck in this position of they can't even pick a team fight.
Nope.
They can't even try to look for pickoffs. No one seems like a safe target if we talk about Aurora.
Not until Oheb is ready. And Oheb is so far behind. He's almost 2,000, full 2,000 behind Dominkite. And he only has 2 out of 3 on that Swift Trinity, while Dominkite is on his way He's 2 in, but also he has a Sky Piercer. Luckily, no stacks on yet.
Yeah, but he also has the Sea Halberd, so like, even this early on, they're finding ways to deal with every single form of sustain that Liquid has.
Right. Shield, heal, cut. And given an Ixie, again, it's been a while, folks, since we've actually seen one in professional play. Might not even want that Swift Trinity. He might just want that Corrosion Sight and then a smorgasbord of other damage items that you put on marksman. Lord spawns, upper quarter. Aurora approaching that 5,000 gold lead over Liquid. And I'm not so sure this is the right call. I don't think the Cavalry wants to smoke.
JP really want to stand up front. Edward, once again, it's always Sanford that he's trying to look for.
Oh no.
Carl TZ trying to close in. Edward forcing a fight down or on the other side of the map as well. But the AOG is already committed. SOD finally connects. Sanford goes in and Demon Kite actually falls. But Edward gets the Lord!
Mr. Consistent secures it, and they take down so many. The Liquid Stampede is quelled. RORA finds the wipeout. Kite is a maniac.
A sidestep full barrage from Kite to take down 4 members from the Cavalry.
40 couldn't flicker, JP couldn't flicker, could have maybe saved someone with a guiding winds, but Kite was too damn deadly.
Fortunately, the death timers aren't that long just yet, but they'd have to say goodbye to their holy shields. And Aurora, they're so terrifying, they actually go for Yue, but is he the target? Kite! It's Kite they want! It's a shutdown from Sanji!
Oheb coming in from the back line. Demon Kite trained on him. Traded 2 for already. JP and Sanford.
Oh no.
3 members of Aurora are on him. Down he goes. Yue gets him.
That was time for Liquid to clear the Lord, but was he the best option to get that time? To buy that time for the Cavalry?
It's gone sideways as the RWM comes out of Yue.
Carl TZ and Sanji, they still have to deal with a single minion and another wave in mid, but Carl, he's trying to close in Demon Kite. Sanford trying to catch up, goes for light, but he has the Unbreakable to move a bit further. Carl TZ gets blocked by the minions and the chase will not continue.
RORA makes that decision. We can't force the issue. Kite just spawned, and we need our marksman to be able to finish this. Put a dot on this match. End it with an exclamation point. 6,000 gold up. Kite just built that malefic gun. So as if that range difference was already huge enough, he can now shoot at you from where you can't even see him.
That's gonna be a lot more problems for Liquid. Imagine how much resources they had to commit just to find that kill on Kite.
A lot, Brigida, a lot. But here's the thing. Oheb has his Swift Trinity already, and he's on his way to his Wind of Nature. So that means he'll be relatively safe from a good chunk of Edward's damage, from Kite for sure, from even Demon Kite, but not Yue. So Yue, as you can see, is on top of damage dealt. So all these swipes, all these hard presses, if you may do that with the RWM, are making a difference. That's something that Liquid has to deal with too.
And this Yue, this Eve, has a purple buff on his hero.
That's Carl's.
It's not like Carl needs it. He's not a Hayabusa in this game, you know.
But Liquid needs it.
But they need all resources that they can, because we're still talking about a 6K gold lead in favor of Aurora.
We've seen worse gold leads that feel much worse. This is a very dominant 6K gold lead, and I think they're in the right spots. Kite builds his final item to fill up his kit, has a Wind of Nature of his own. So in case Oheb finds him, Sanford finds him, he should be fine. Lord getting blitzed by Aurora.
Oh, wait, they're actually moving away. They see majority of Liquid trying to position themselves in the Lord. What could be the call for Aurora?
Deadly Dawn starting up Vital Slash.
Sanford finding some targets, but they're not the best just yet. Light jumping in, Kite secures the Lord, Demon Kite rather, and now they're going in, JP, all in, Sanford's next. They're losing members one by one, Aurora. They're going for the chase, but Liquid has to run away.
The Stampede goes backwards, they roll out. The Lord spawns up top. RORA is inside the base. They crack through mid.
Do they have enough wave clear? Can Oheb deal with this alone? Sanji, what can they do? to delay the siege!
Full barrage!